Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into a piece called Say No, Mean It, Scale Faster. And for you, especially if you're building something, trying to make an impact, this is, well, it's about a tough truth, isn't it? This idea that you
Yeah.
just can't grow, you can't scale if you're saying yes to, well, everything. So, our mission today, we want to unpack why saying no isn't actually selfish. It's strategic, really strategic. We'll look at how it frees up massive amounts of time, energy, focused things that the source calls totally non negotiable. And we'll get into those, like hidden costs of always agreeing. Plus, there's this really simple, powerful script from the source we want to share. It could honestly change things for you.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? How easily we just sort of let our own vision get eroded by saying yes all the time. It's like this silent drain. So this deep dive is really going to shine a light on, not just why you need to guard those resources, but how systems can actually protect them before they get, well, stolen by other demands.
Right.
And we'll see why, a calendar packed with other people's priorities, it can just quietly kill your own best plans.
Okay, let's dive right in there. Because that core message, you can't grow if you say yes to everything, it sounds almost too simple. Obvious, maybe. But the source really digs into why it's so incredibly hard for us to actually live by that. It's not just about managing time, is it? It's like these deep habits we have, or that fear of missing out FOMO, or even just, the social awkwardness of not being agreeable all the time. The material shows how these things just silently sap our energy.
Exactly. And the source doesn't just say no is strategic, not selfish. It really paints a picture of the cost of every single yes.
Hmm.
And these aren't small things. We're talking your time, your energy, your focus,
Yeah.
those core components. That uses this great analogy like trying to build a skyscraper. Imagine people constantly showing up asking for your concrete, your workers, your architect, but for their projects, your skyscraper.
Hmm.
It just wouldn't get built, period.
That's such a powerful way to frame it. But, okay, I can hear listeners thinking, but wait, won't I tick people off? Won't I miss real opportunities? How does the source handle that immediate reaction, that fear? Because it's so insistent that time, energy, and focus are, like you said, non-negotiable if you're serious.
That's a really important point. And the source, it acknowledges that discomfort. It doesn't pretend it's easy, but then it pivots. It shows how a clear, well-communicated no can actually build respect in the long run. It clarifies where you stand. And this ties directly into the idea of building systems to make it less painful, less personal.
Yeah.
Think about it like instead of reacting constantly, maybe you have one specific time slot a week where you even consider new requests. Or maybe like an automated email reply that politely states your current focus isn't aligned with new commitments right now. It's about being proactive, not just reacting when you're already overwhelmed.
Right, proactive defense.
Mm.
And this is where the material gives us something super practical, right? That simple script, it feels like a game changer. For anyone listening who sort of struggles, finding the words, the source offers this one sentence. It's, I appreciate the invite, but it's not aligned with my focus right now.
It's so concise, isn't it? But it does so much work. It highlights something crucial. It's not just the words themselves, it's the implication. That phrase shows respect. I appreciate the invite, but it firmly sets your boundary. It's not aligned with my focus right now. It establishes that boundary immediately, clearly, without needing like a whole song and dance or a list of excuses.
And that one sentence the source suggests could fundamentally shift your path. It really makes you stop and think about the power in that kind of concise boundary. It's more than just turning down a meeting. It feels like reclaiming your direction, your autonomy.
Absolutely. And the source really hammers home this idea of systems, not just relying on sheer willpower. Systems is your first line of defense. It's about crafting your environment so your core capacity, your ability to do your main thing, is protected by default. Maybe that looks like a strict policy, no email before 10 a.m. after your deep work session. Or maybe dedicated idea review times, like we mentioned, so every shiny new object doesn't instantly throw you off track. It's all about being intentional with those precious resources before they get chipped away.
Because if you don't, if you don't put those systems, those boundaries in place, the material gives this really stark warning. It says, when your calendar is full of other people's priorities, your vision dies quietly. Wow. That image dies quietly. That really lands. That slow fade, not some big dramatic failure. I think, honestly, many of us have felt that. That creeping sense of being busy, but not actually moving our needle forward. But what about the argument, that sometimes you have to say yes? For networking, maybe? Or early on to get traction, even if it's not perfectly aligned, does the source offer any guidance on telling the difference, like a strategic yes versus just another drain?
That's fair. And the source isn't really saying you become this fortress of no. It's not about being totally inflexible. It's about intentionality. That's the key word here. It suggests, implicitly at least, that a truly strategic yes is one that actually amplifies or directly supports your main focus,
Yeah.
rather than diluting it. And the hidden cost it talks about, it goes beyond just losing time and energy. Those are huge, the non-negotiables. It's also about the subtle ways your own standards might slip when you're spread too thin, the burnout that creeps in. And maybe the biggest cost, the truly big, meaningful opportunities you miss because your plate is already full of okay-ish things you said yes to. We're aiming for what the source calls intentional growth, right? Not this quiet failure.
So, okay, let's try and bring this all together for you listening. The message seems really clear. No isn't just about setting a boundary. It's like fundamental to building something that lasts. This deep dive, it's shown us saying no is actually a tool, a powerful one for that intentional growth we're talking about. It's the direct counter move to that quiet failure, that slow death of your vision when your calendar just gets hijacked by everyone else's priorities.
Exactly. It really boils down to understanding that your core resources, time, energy, focus, that's your creative capital. That's the currency you use to build anything worthwhile. So when you learn to say no effectively, strategically, you're not just turning something down. You're making a direct investment in your own vision's future. You're clearing the space needed for your real, yes, the big, important things to actually breathe and drive that intentional, scaled growth.
So, for you, the listener, maybe here's a final thought to kind of chew on from all this. Take a moment, think about the yeses you're giving right now. Are any of them quietly eating away at those non negotiable resources, your time, your energy, your focus? And what would it actually truly look like for you to consistently create that space to let your real yes flourish and really shift from just reacting towards that intentional growth this deep dive has explored?